Yo, what's good, folks? Darren Harris here to tell you about Bird Dogs. That's BIRDDOGS. And I'm not talking about the Irish Setter. I'm talking about these pants and shorts that I just got from birddogs.com. Well, first, right off the bat, they make you look wonderful. Bird Dogs make you look good. Bird Dog stretch khaki shorts are designed to fit you slimmer through the thigh and leg, giving you a truly sculpted look. Bird Dog shorts do the exact same thing as Lululemon shorts, but they fit way better. They also fit better than these regular khaki shorts that you used to get, the cargo shorts. Remember those, the restricting cotton shorts? They fit better than those too. Bird Dogs fixed this issue by inventing this cloud knit fabric that looks just like khaki but stretches so you can get a slimmer fit without having to sacrifice any movement. Bird Dogs also uses this anti-stink, anti-sweat wicking fabric that keeps you cool and dry all day long. So go to birddogs.com for your free Yeti-style tumbler with your order. That's birddogs, BIRDDOGS.com for a free Yeti-style tumbler. You won't want to take your Bird Dogs off. We promise you, you won't.
The podcast playground.
Hooray!
This is the Darren Harris Podcast. Here's your host, Darren Harris.
Hey folks, how you doing? Welcome back to my show. I am your host, Darren Harris. Thanks for joining me. I do appreciate it. How's your mental health this week? Hopefully it was good. My mental health, it was great. I think I believe I had a good week. I had a great week. There's some great things going on this week. I'm here to talk about one of them. Well, I think it's great anyway. I'm here to talk about the brawl that happened in Alabama. And joining me today to talk about this brawl is my very best friend in the world and also the producer of my show, Mr. Jesse Yandel. What's happening, man? How you feeling?
Great. Thank you.
Thank
awesome
you.
to be here.
Thank you. Thank you very
Darren
much.
Harris Podcast.
Yeah, it's not like we don't talk every day anyway, but
That's okay. Nobody wants to hear that.
I think a lot of people want to hear it, actually. I think it would be a lot of it would be worth listening to.
It typically devolves into superheroes and cartoons.
People want to hear about that. People want to hear about that. I want to hear
On
about
occasion.
I want to hear about superheroes and cartoons.
See? Me too.
I don't mind that. As a matter of fact, what's wrong with superheroes and cartoons? Anyway, I don't want to necessarily interview you, but I just want to have like a dialogue or a discussion as to how you felt about this brawl in Alabama. I'm assuming that you saw it. I've
seen it.
Yeah.
I saw the one most everyone saw with the compelling commentary.
Yeah, absolutely. The commentary was great.
With the woman. She called it too.
Listen.
Boom! In the face!
Listen, that was some of the best sports commentary. She needs a job with ESPN as soon as possible.
Yeah, an MMA announcer.
Listen, she would do great on some MMA.
Sound effects, good. She was good.
Well, hold on. Let me break it. Let me break down what happened. It was in Montgomery, Alabama. That was a crutch word. This August, early August, a few days ago. It was a few days ago. There was a black security guard, and he was doing his job, and he was telling some people who had illegally parked their boat to move. And from what I understand, he told them several times, but they wanted to do what they wanted to do. He continued to tell them. It turned into a heated discussion really quickly. He kept telling them, and I guess they got upset with what he was telling them, and then they assaulted him. Well, first it was one guy, and then it quickly turned into a group of white men and one white lady. So that is what happened to start. And I just want to know what your feeling was on that.
Well, I'm glad that everybody went to jail.
Right.
So they were there when the police got there. They didn't get away.
Right. Well, if you notice, the police didn't really do too much. They kind of just let it happen.
Yeah,
For a couple
it
minutes.
looked like they were running to get there.
They running to get there to make sure they were just
somebody else.
But from what I could see, I mean, there was in the beginning, you could see that the police were they were trying to regulate, but after a while, it just kind of was like, you know what? We're just going to stand here and make sure nobody gets killed. And we're just going to let this take place. We're just going to let this happen. We're going to regulate. We're all going to play Mills Lane. That's what we're going to do.
I mean, I saw them in the little short video I saw. They were handcuffing people.
That was later on. That was later. I saw a couple of videos where these brothers was just standing there.
Edited the video.
They was standing there just letting it happen. Then they grabbed the dude after the dude hit the lady with the chair. That's when he was on some. That's when I saw the handcuffs come out. But prior to that, I saw a bunch of police kind of just.
I didn't see any police prior to that.
There. They were standing there. They were standing there. A couple of brothers were just standing there. There was one white cop. He had his hand on his gun, but he didn't pull it. But there was a black lady cop. She was trying to do something for a few minutes, but if you look in the background, the brothers that was on shift, they were standing there, let that shit happen. They was standing there. They just wanted to make sure nobody was gonna pull out the burner and get busy. But as long as you throwing bows, like, and what happened? These dudes came over and jumped this. Yo, we're going to let this happen for a couple minutes. And then we're going to regulate like we supposed. All right, break it up. Just like we used to get done. And that's what it looked like to me. But, I mean, what did it look like to you?
Looked like every day at the pier.
Right.
To me,
right.
That's how it goes down.
Right.
In Mississippi.
Yeah.
This time they had their phones out. This time people were paying attention.
Right. This time people actually took action. That's a very good point. People were actually paying attention. People actually cared. It looked, I mean, to me, it looked as bad as it was. It looked as bad as it was because from the angle that I saw, you could clearly see that, this deckhand was, he was just at his wit's end, and he threw his hat up, and I guess that's when the N-word must have come out, and because that right there, that's that universal. If that's where we at right now, then what's it going to be, man? What is it really? And then that's when dude shoved him. Now, okay, that's cool. Dude shoved him. He was in the wrong anyway to begin with. But if it was a one-on-one thing, that's a different story. But the fact that not only did, a few other guys join in, a lady joined in as well, and they began to beat this man. And
there's no way they could have thought that was going to go well.
They are business owners. That's bullshit. How is that good for business?
Watch, it's going to come out. They bought that boat with the PPE loan.
Ugh. That's fucking terrible. But they own a business. They're business owners.
What do they do?
I'm not sure, but from what I understand, they own some type of business. I didn't do that much research. I did some, but I didn't do that much research. But they own some type of business. And I mean, to take, like I said before, to remove race out of it. I mean, this guy was doing his job. He was at his job. I'm at my job. And how secure do you feel in this job now that you just got jumped at your job by a group of racists while I'm working?
Yeah, they mushed up some people at the last place they were.
Right.
Mushed up some kid at a convenience store last week.
Yeah, some shit. It's just getting it's coming to a head. There is a reckoning, I believe, that's coming in this country. And I don't know. I mean, I don't know where I'm afraid is I'm afraid for well, I'm afraid for everybody to start because I just don't want there to be any more violence. And we've seen, we've been seeing, random acts of violence, for, a long time now. But now we're starting to see, racially motivated acts of violence. And we're starting to see, acts of violence based on gender, whatever gender you want. People, you're being attacked because of your sexual orientation or what you identify as. And to me, is starting to show kinks in the armor of America. There's a lot of kinks. There's a lot of holes that are starting to be exposed on a large level. And I don't think that it's something that we can't get by, but I just think it's going to take us, man, it's going to be hard for us to get by this. I hate to say it. I really don't want it to be this way. And I hate that it even had to come down to this, I kind of love and hate it at the same time because it affirmed one thing. It affirmed that we are no longer afraid to stand up for ourselves. And it also affirmed that we can unify as a people. That's the thing that I like about it. But I hate the fact that it had to resort to violence in order for us to gain that affirmation or gain that foresight or come together on, as a people on that level. It takes something on that level. We just can't do it automatically. We can't break away from these things, but something like this is something so powerful to make us, these guys didn't think about what they did. They didn't care of what consequences there were to them running into this. They were ready to defend one of their kind because they felt that he was being disrespected and, targeted and
they were beating him.
Yeah. Thank you for saving me from that crutch word. But yeah, for lack of a better phrase, they were beating him. A group of black men, they decided that they did not want to see this. They weren't going to tolerate this. They weren't going to watch this man get beat. And one by one, you see them. Well, it was one, and then it was three, and then it was another one that swam across. I call him Black.
They weren't together.
They were not
together.
But see, that is what I'm talking about. These people, he threw that hat up, and then everybody looked and saw what was going on, and then it just couldn't be. Something in all of these people, the exact same thing, something primal, something that went right back to those very shores from the days of slavery where black people were traded right there at that very park. Something came over those men and they all united together. And in that moment, they were all brothers and they were all fighting for the same thing, the preservation of someone else, of another brother. And in that, as brutal and savage as it was beautiful. And it was poetry. It was poetry. And it was, and I mean, you've known me my whole life. I don't hate white folks. I am very pro-black, but I hate the shit out of racism. And it looked to me that a group of racists got their just desserts. And that's what it looked like to me. So.
Yeah, karma's a bitch.
Yeah, instant karma.
You're going to reap what you sow.
Yeah, that was instantly happening. That instantly happened. Did you see the guy that dove off and left his mother?
No, the guy that swam.
No, well, there was one guy that was the two guys that walked up and then they turned around and he dove off and left his homeboy to get jumped on. But then, if you're looking up the pier to the left where the water is, there was a instance where a guy and his mother, I guess they're walking this way, and the guy dove off into the water, unassisted, by the way. He just dove into the water and left his mother standing there. Just left his mom's. Just left his mom's.
I didn't see that.
Yeah, I guess. See, but and this is another thing I wanted to talk about, man, because I've seen other clips of this video, other angles, like many different angles of this video. There's so many angles of this video, but they're all being taken down by social media. They're all being taken down by social media. They're all being taken down, and not only are they're not only they're being taken down, the content creators that are putting up the content are having actions taken against them in their channels. One, Instagram won't allow them to go live for 30 days. And another guy, I think it was YouTube that banned him from posting anything for a week. Just because of that. But on the other side of that, they'll be happy to show us hanging from trees. They'll be happy to show us fighting each other. They'll be happy to show us doing all these things negatively towards each other. But the first time that we show something of, some sort of unity as a people, they go back and they remove it like it's some sort of toxic or harmful content. But you'll let us, like I said, you'll sit there and you'll let us beat our own ass all over the internet for years. It'll go viral. Other people will use it. They make memes and shit behind it. But the minute that we unify and try and put something up, not only do you take the content down, but they put constraints on the content creators' channels, or they slap them with some sort of disciplinary action. And I think that is personally wrong. How do you feel about that?
Well, we just got some Facebook jail action. TK said he's happy that the women's soccer team lost in the World Cup, and the rest of the country's happy too.
What? Facebook jail?
Facebook jail. That's the women's national team. You guys can't talk bad about it. I think he went on to say that it shouldn't be called the World Cup unless it's just men playing. Oh, if there's women playing, it should be called the World Bra.
Ooh, bump. Facebook jail.
It was pretty innocent humor.
Facebook penitentiary. Well, you never know what's innocent nowadays. You never know what is innocent and what is not innocent. People are so offended by so many things. You can't, take Florida, for instance. You can't even learn about Ruby Bridges because people don't want people to be uncomfortable learning about actual history. That's just, I don't want to talk about that, but
we put Shaquille O'Neal up on YouTube dressed like a woman for his Halloween costume.
Yeah.
We got rich.
Yeah. That's crazy. It's all right. And that's the thing, to emasculate, to show us on some emasculation.
And Shaq
at that. On some Shaq.
And, hey, we put it out every year. That's part of our annual income.
That's crazy business. That picture just is awesome. But that's the thing.
People ask him about it, and he said, "Oh no, man, that was 5 years ago, cuz."
Yeah.
They put it out all October. They run it.
See?
Hey, best Halloween costume ever.
But see, we do that. Nobody else really has to. And it's not taken down. It's not taken down from social media. And that's the thing. It's not taken down. Even though it shows some, I really don't, I think it wouldn't matter if we protested it or not. I think it would just be like, because we do get the side swipe a lot. But it's starting to be, I feel that we are starting to come to a point where we're starting to realize that we are not our ancestors, that we don't have to stand for that. We don't have to sit up and take abuse, from anybody, really, not just those group of men, in that particular instance, but from anybody in general. We don't have to take.
You ever watch Mall Cops on Spike TV?
Mall Cops?
Yeah.
No, they have Mall Cops?
Yeah, they have a brawl every week.
Mall Cops.
On Mall Cops. Every week they have a situation like that.
Mall Cops.
People
Mall
jump
Cops.
on dude. A bunch of strangers come to his defense like, oh, no, you didn't.
Motherfucker, your jurisdiction ends at the end of the parking lot.
That's all right. You guys were fighting right in front of the giant cookie place.
Yeah, but if I could make it past fucking Macy's.
The floor is slick at the mall.
They trying to get you on press. That's how they get you.
A lot of slipping. There's a lot of slipping.
Ugh.
And if you're almost to the door, that dude with the whoop, 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 whoop,
Yeah.
He gets
the Segway motherfucker.
No. The floor shiny guy.
Oh,
Man, I would race a Segway on my floor shiner.
I think a Segway will bust that floor shiner's ass.
Nah. Once you get it up on one wheel, it's fast. You get it on the side.
Yeah, but you got to maintain control of that motherfucker.
I used one in prison.
Oh, a floor shiner. Huh.
I was intimate with my floor shiner. That was my machine. I rode it. I would ride it. Floors were shiny.
Kind of like four-wheeling.
Yeah.
I'm going floor shining.
I'm going floor shining. It was fun.
Hell yeah. I heard that shit. Well, this is what I think. I think the people who who assaulted that gentleman, they are, I don't think that they are remorseful.
No, that's their MO.
I think they are now even more instilled in their hatred against, other races. I think that sentiment is growing in certain areas, in certain circles, just because I think that they're being fueled by, and I did a podcast on Mr. Aldean and his song. I think that's the new anthem. That's the new anthem. And honestly, I think Jason Aldean is about to get a lot of people fucked up out here in the streets in real life. For real. Because don't do that. Don't give people the false sense that they're going to be some sort of vigilante that is sent to do justice, or they're what they call justice based on your heritage or your upbringing where you're from. And that is divisive. That is hurtful. That is very hurtful. And it's deliberate. And I think there's no room for it. Now, just like back in the days when everybody was like, oh, NWA and rap. Yeah, you absolutely right. Yeah, you absolutely right. And in that respect, the dude gets to make whatever kind of music that he wants to make. But let's make no mistake about it. Music fuels emotions, especially when there's alcohol involved. And I'll tell you what, I don't know how many motherfuckers came out of movies after Rocky thinking that they was Rocky Balboa and got their ass bust in the street. You know what I'm saying? I watched that shit firsthand myself. Watched that shit happen. And I'm afraid for that to happen. I'm afraid for us to go down that path.
That's the path we're on. This one just hit the news. But that's the path we're on. We're scraping up people every night.
I responded.
News media didn't do this. The news media didn't start this. They wouldn't have reported on this.
But I feel like the media in general is now trying to almost in a sense make it go away. Like it leaked out. TikTok's taken down. Anybody like this guy Sean King, I listened to his podcast. Shout out to Sean King for having one of the dopest podcasts out there. Really, I don't admit, but every time he posts anything, they take it right down, straight down. Another couple of other guys, like I said, a few other guys, they take their post down and then they penalize them for putting up, quote unquote, harmful content. And I think what's happening is we are realizing, and that's why I did an episode on social media. Are there other social media platforms out there? There are a few other social media platforms out there for people of color if you want to actually get your social media out. But it does need to circulate around our communities. But I also think that we need platforms like Facebook and Instagram and YouTube and things of that nature because they are more mainstream platforms, and they reach a broader audience, and a broader audience needs to see all of this. They need to see all of this. They need to understand and see all of it, because there are white folks that are equally as disgusted with what happened as I am. There are plenty of them that are just pissed off about it. And they're tired of it just like I am. Plenty of them. Plenty of people out here just still baffled at how shit like this still happens. I don't know.
You know that all the social medias are just websites, right?
Yeah.
It's just a website. It's not a platform. They call it a platform because it's similar to soapbox. They didn't want to call it a soapbox.
Right.
Nobody can take content down from DaronHarris.com except Darren Harris.
Right.
Now, it doesn't have millions of people watching it, but we haven't promoted it.
Right. True. I think we should get on some promotions.
So,
starting with me, I don't promote it all.
You could find a clever website, call it whatever you want, stickybuns.com. Oh, did you see that post on Sticky Buns? Yeah, man, I went viral on Sticky Buns. Why does it have to be Twitter, Facebook, Instagram? And the two guys that own them all, are getting ready to have some kind of cage match. You're going to get your wish. Bare knuckle boxing for president.
See,
so,
that's almost like some psychic premonition from the past. I want to see him. I want to see him bust each other's ass. But they're going to do it on some pussy shit. That's going to be on some straight power. I want to see him fight.
Well, I think they probably both of them are ready to fight.
Mm. I don't know.
I think they ought to straight MMA, man. No gloves.
Yeah, like at least box? I think, what are they, like 8-ounce gloves or 6-ounce gloves or something like that?
Those are to protect yourself. Boxing gloves are to protect the other guy.
Yeah.
In MMA, there is no regard for the other guy.
Yeah, they really don't have any regard. I can't tell you how many legs I've seen snap. And then your leg has snapped, and this dude is still coming down with a hammer to your face after your leg has snapped.
Not once, and none of them hit you once. It's the 9 times rapid fire punching.
Yeah. To the canvas at the same time.
Well, That's real fighting. Is what that is. That's just two dudes fighting, or two women really fighting. Boxing, that's boxing. We're just boxing.
Yeah, boxing is not
rules.
Real fighting. Yeah,
it's boxing. It's like sparring is not sword fighting.
Right.
Because there's no cut your head off move in sparring.
Well, they got this new karate league. Have you seen it?
No.
They got a new karate league. It's just like MMA, but it's karate.
Excellent.
Yeah, on some karate.
Yeah.
Karate. Yeah, exactly. On some Street Fighter, for real.
That's perfect.
Man.
And people love that show.
It's
especially 3 rounds.
Yeah.
Here you go. Quick. A line of people. Who
Yeah,
do I have to
man.
beat up next?
Fight.
Winner.
No kidding. That's crazy.
And another opportunity for Americans to gamble.
Absolutely. I really do think this. I really think that in politics, that our candidates that are running for president, like all these dudes that want to run for president, I think that they should have a presidential cage match and bare knuckle box instead of debates. Box, bare knuckle fight.
What
bare
about the
knuckle?
women?
Them two, each other. The women get to fight each other. But
There's
if it's
only one right now,
okay, then there's a woman that gets appointed to fight this woman. There's a there. We have
the Secretary of Scrap.
Yeah, we got somebody that comes out, and that person is used to fight candidates. Thunderstorm. That's used to fight
must
candidates.
Be a bad idea.
Yeah, like maybe he's agreeing. Maybe he's like, yeah, that's right. Yeah, we should do that. We should fight. We should make them fight. Because I'm tired of like pansy pussy ass, like Volodymyr Zelensky is a president. That dude is a president of a country.
Yeah, you got to give it up for that Russian dude too.
Who, Vladimir Putin?
Yeah.
Nah. Well, I guess so. He was KGB.
Well, you got to give it up to him. He's a badass.
He's a
bad
He's a badass. He'll beat your ass.
Uh-huh.
Oh yeah, Vladimir beats your ass, Putin.
Yeah, and he owns the plutonium plant.
Listen, not only Vladimir beats your ass, he will kill you 9-10 different ways. He's a fucking killer.
He's got a dude living in your town undercover right now, just waiting for the order.
Right here in Lake City, working for Vladimir Putin.
That's right. Nobody'd ever to guess.
I work down here at the little Occidental airplane company we got down here. Uh-huh. I saw that we have U.S. cold storage here. I'm like, what do we have in Lake City?
Those are meals for school children.
United States cold storage.
Yeah. A little crap that the kids eat at lunch. And then some breakfast. Some have breakfast.
Huh.
Why would you think the government would give away free breakfast and free lunch if there wasn't something in the food?
See.
It's in the chicken.
Listen, I was going to say, man, I really want to do. I'm losing track of the podcast. I really would like to sit down and have a dialogue with somebody about that movie, about They Clone Tyrone, because that right there, to me, that's my new favorite movie. That is really my new favorite movie. I love it. I love that. I love it because I love how they told that message. I love how they shared with everybody, or they shared with everybody the intricacies of what goes on in the hood and the psyche of the hood, but also what happens to our people based on what's been inflicted upon us. Jamie Foxx was amazing. Absolutely loved Jamie Foxx. I forgot the lady's name, and Finn from Star Wars. I don't even know their names. I know Jamie Foxx. That's who I know. That's all I knew is Jamie Foxx.
Oh, the actors' names?
Yeah.
I never know the actors' names. I do exactly what you did. I call him what I know. Finn.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, his name's Finn from Star Wars.
He was Finn in Star Wars.
Yeah. I don't know.
See? You don't know either, so I don't feel so bad.
Well,
But we all know who I'm talking about.
well,
Because if you didn't see Star Wars, well, I'm having a hard time being your friend.
yeah. I feel strongly about that shit right there. What are you talking about? You didn't see Star Wars, you idiot?
So you don't know what I mean when I say Darth Vader or Princess Leia, Luke Skywalker, none of that? Like R2-D2?
Oh, man, I fucking hate
Nothing.
you.
Wow.
Ugh. It's like not knowing who Superman is.
Wow.
Yeah. You don't know who Darth
I
Vader
talked to
is?
a guy who told me he was done with Superman.
Ugh. Fuck that motherfucker.
I was done with Superman before it came out on movies. I hated the comic books.
Right.
Wow.
Well, I've always been a Batman dude.
Well, Batman doesn't have any actual powers.
Actually, Batman, his superpower is his brain. He's the world's greatest detective.
Smarter than he is working for him.
Alfred's not smarter than Batman. Batman showed him how to make that.
He makes all the toys.
Shit.
Who do you think puts that shit together while old boys out dancing and whining and dining the ladies?
Well, he's the one who
cool.
He's smart enough to fund the operation.
Well, I mean, he inherited that money.
Hell yeah, make that. Yeah, make that. I need some shit that does this. Go ahead and make that. Well, I got about 2.5 minutes left, so I kind of want to bring it to a close and wrap it up. But in 30 seconds, give me your entire feel about what you think about this situation, what you would like to see in the future.
Well, I don't think it's a situation. I think it's a viral video that reflects what's going on, because that's what's going on. It went on last week, last month, last year. You're just not hearing about every incident of everything doesn't go viral. The news has quit reporting any stories about Chicago. You know, there's 20 people a day at the hospital with gunshot wounds, hundreds in a weekend, 400 people with gunshot wounds. And why would the hospital lie about that? The news has given up. We're done with Chicago and other towns, San Francisco. We're done reporting the beatings and the crimes. And yeah, people jump in and people try and help. If it weren't for a viral video on a social media website, we wouldn't even be talking about it because we wouldn't know. But that doesn't mean it's not happening.
Thank you very much for joining me today on the Deron Harris podcast, my man. You are always welcome. I appreciate you.
Ooh, I liked it.
I'm glad that you liked it. We could do it more often. Like I said, we talk every day. We should do this more often on my show. So, again, thank you very much for joining me. I would like to also thank my mother and my father for making me so I could do this podcast. I want to thank my wife for being the best wife in the world. Absolutely. I got the best wife in the world. Hands down, I got the best wife in the world. I want to thank my man that I'm sitting here talking to right now thanks for believing in me, man. I appreciate you. I really do. I appreciate you because I didn't think I could do this. And
well, you're welcome. You got the talent. Spit it out, man.
Thanks, man. I also want to thank everybody. Last but not least, I want to thank everybody who is listening to my podcast, who has continued to listen to my podcast, who is listening to my podcast and no longer listens to my podcast. And I also want to thank the people who have not yet listened to my podcast that will.
You've been listening to the Deron Harris Podcast. Subscribe to the show, give a good rating, and everything you need to know is at DeronHarris.com.